Good morning, sir, and thank you for coming this rainy morning, traveling 1 hour.
No, it's great. I mean, in Armenia, Los Angeles, no? Glendale
Glendale
is a city
Armenia.
in Los Angeles,
Yes.
for Armenia city in Los Angeles.
Right. So I have your report
Yeah,
that came out like hours ago,
yeah.
right? Maybe like 10 hours or
Yeah,
something.
yesterday.
It's
We
brand
finished
new.
yesterday.
It's brand new.
Finished yesterday night.
Yeah, I had some. I wrote down some questions I'd like to ask you about. But before that, sir, I would like to ask you to give us some. Tell us about this report more. What is the main message, or what are the main messages, and who are the addressees? Like, who are you addressing it to?
You see, this report is produced to the Sao Paulo University,
Right.
and it's complementing the report I produced on August 7
Last year.
that was for Artsakh president, who's today in jail in Azerbaijan. So that's my problem. The person I advised on August is today in jail in Azerbaijan. And that is for me so worrying. That's why in October, I joined the University of Sao Paulo, which is the biggest university in South America, and they are planning to discuss global order. And Armenia is, for me, Armenia and Gaza Israel are the two main topics in global order today. Why? Because it's incredible, but after 1915, today, we are witnessing a new genocide against Armenians. Nagorno-Karabakh Armenians were victims of genocide in 2023. So we cannot ignore that. And I think now states that were denying the genocide, now the US even is doing research on that. And why it's important to talk about genocide? Because one, the only way to protect Nagorno-Karabakh people is to show they were victims of genocide. And therefore, Nagorno-Karabakh people have the right to return, have the right to be compensated, and most urgently, the current leaders should be released. The current leaders of Nagorno-Karabakh are in captivity in Baku as hostages. Because why are they hostages? Because they are trying, Azerbaijan is sending a message. Armenians, don't come back to Nagorno-Karabakh. If you come back, you will be humiliated, incarcerated, or killed. So that's why these people are in jail. And that's why it's so important to release them, because they are victims of genocide. So for me, this report of Sao Paulo University is completing the picture that I described in August when I say the Lachin corridor.
So you were warning, basically, that there is a genocide underway.
Coming.
Well, now it's already
completed.
Completed, yes.
Yes. So, but now they recognize it. They are starting to recognize. And I think we should make this very important point, because to protect Nagorno-Karabakh people, we need to confirm a genocide was committed. If not, Azerbaijan is saying, oh, they're just Azerbaijan citizens now, no problem. No. They are not Azerbaijan citizens. They are Armenians attacked and victims of genocide. That's why they need special protection. Different is Armenia itself, because also Azerbaijan leader was making dangerous comments on Armenia. But what I see now, the Western countries, including US and France and Germany, are more protective of Armenia. So Armenia is protected. Nagorno-Karabakh is not protected. That's why we have to keep doing both. We have to keep consolidating the protection for Armenia itself, but we need to, for me, my focus is how to help these people, how to help the Nagorno-Karabakh people to recover their land, to recover their rights, and to release the prisoners.
Yeah. So you were talking about political leaders of Artsakh that are like kept hostages,
Yes.
right? Right now.
Yeah.
And you're saying that just because of that, that's a part of the genocide.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's a part of the genocide.
Yes.
And you think like Azerbaijan is willing to release them just because we say so? Or there has to be like some mechanism to press more pressure?
Well, In the short term, Azerbaijan had to realize it's better for them to release them. That would be, because we don't need to wait for a court making people criminally responsible.
Right.
They should be released immediately. You know, this is a movie now called Americazzi.
Right.
Tomorrow is competing for the Oscar. And it's interesting for me because Americazzi show something similar. Americazzi is the story of the Armenian going back to the Soviet time Armenia, and he's in jail for no reason.
Right.
And he suffered the Soviet system. And the similar situation happened to Artsakh people today. They are in a Soviet system in jail for no reason. The only reason is because they are Armenian Nagorno-Karabakh, and that's why they are hostages of Azerbaijan.
Yeah. So to do so, I think the international community has to press Azerbaijan, right? Do you see, like, at some point, because my colleague had a question regarding this issue. We had a court decision on this year, February, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
February,
that
yes.
that Azerbaijan has to open the Lachin corridor and
keep open the Lachin corridor.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they didn't care, so they
No.
didn't do anything. They put more pressure, we know what we ended up deportation, whatever. Do you think, at some point, and the world kept silent, right? The world didn't do anything. Major countries, Russia, European Union, United
In
States.
September, you mean?
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
No.
So, do you
yeah.
think at some point the world would, political leaders of the major countries would care more about humanity over their political interest of their countries, and sometimes even corporate or personal interest?
In 2023, basically, Western countries decide Nagorno-Karabakh is not our problem.
Yeah.
They don't care about Nagorno-Karabakh. However, after the August report on genocide, the U.S. Congress made different meetings, and then the State Department on the September 14 committed itself to protect Nagorno-Karabakh, but it was late, because 5 days late, boom. So now there was in November another Congress conversation, and the new ambassador in charge, O'Brien, say they are conducting investigation about what happened there, and started to talk about it. France is more stronger. France and Europe and Germany are more stronger on protecting Nagorno-Karabakh right to return. And that's why we need to push them. Nagorno-Karabakh people have to push these countries to help them to be protected. That's what this report is about. This report is about that, explaining how the Western countries ignore the genocide and how now they have to do something for Nagorno-Karabakh people. Also, they had to work to protect Armenia. Two different things now.
So what exact action they might take? Let's say France.
Well, there are many things to do, including presenting cases before International Criminal Court. Armenia became a state party of the International Criminal Court. Since February, the prosecutor could open investigations for crimes committed in Armenia, and it's a way to do it also the crimes committed against Nagorno-Karabakh.
But Azerbaijan is not a member of that court.
Yes, but the crime committed in Nagorno-Karabakh, one of the crimes is called deportation. So the same facts are genocide, but also a crime against humanity, deportation. Deportation is forcing people to go crossing the international limit. And the 100,020 people from Nagorno-Karabakh went to Armenia. That is crossing a border. And that is a deportation crime. And there is a precedent in the International Criminal Court, in the Rohingya case, when people had to escape from Myanmar to Bangladesh, and the court opened investigation there. Bangladesh is the party, Myanmar is not a party. Azerbaijan is not a party, Armenia is the party. So it's similar. That's why there are many ways to present cases against Aliyev before the International Criminal Court. And why is important in the International Criminal Court? Because it's the only court who can prosecute the president. No national court can prosecute the president. The International Criminal Court could do it. So Aliyev could be prosecuted before the International Criminal Court because what he did in Nagorno-Karabakh. But the problem is they would take time. They would take years. So in the short term, we need to do more. We need to help the people in jail today to be released, putting pressure and doing different activities to force or to convince Azerbaijan it's better for them to release the prisoners.
Yeah. You are mentioning in your reports, also your speeches, different places. I heard that comparing Israel-Gaza situation with Artsakh, you're saying like the Israeli and Palestinian people are facing genocide right now.
Mm-hmm.
At the meantime, Israel is selling weapons to Azerbaijan.
Yeah, that's a
So
paradox.
what's your point of this?
Well, that's a paradox, no? The world we are living, because 75 years ago, the Genocide Convention was adopted, and the world said never again. And never again was basically about never again Holocaust against the Jewish people, and never again Armenian genocide. That were the two big massacres the 20th century.
Right.
And this year, 2023, we witnessed genocide against Armenians and genocide against Israelis and genocide by Israelis in Gaza. So that is what will happen. We need to fix the problem. That's why I'm honored that the Armenians asked me to help, because I truly believe Armenians could help to recover the world order. That is for me the concept.
Right.
Armenians, you are very strong. You have a strong diaspora. You have no idea. I am engaged with Armenians in Australia, in Brazil, in France, everywhere. Everywhere, the Armenians fighting to protect Nagorno-Karabakh and Armenia. And I am honored that they talk to me, and I'm trying to see how we can organize different activities to protect, in particular, Nagorno-Karabakh, because Armenia will be protected by the big countries, including Russia. But Nagorno-Karabakh is different. No one is protecting Nagorno-Karabakh. That's why I like to help.
Especially Armenia didn't protect. But that's a different issue. You were talking about Armenian diaspora. I agree with you. That's why Turkey and Azerbaijan, after getting rid of Armenians in Artsakh, they have a new target. That's Armenian diaspora, and that's a different topic. Maybe we can talk later.
Yeah, I have no idea on that.
Yes,
new for me.
they have targeted Armenians in diaspora, and they talk about that openly every time. I was asking about Israel, but why I'm asking, because if there is no support from outside countries, let's say from major countries or Israel to Azerbaijan, maybe dictator Aliyev wouldn't do so much, right now,
I agree
let's
with
say
you.
you're talking about the international court could prosecute Azerbaijan or investigate Aliyev.
The president, not the country.
President.
That's a difference,
President.
because that's a big difference.
Yeah.
The International Court of Justice in February ordered Azerbaijan to open the Lachin corridor. It's a state
Right.
order. The International Criminal Court could investigate the people, individuals, including President Aliyev himself. That's a big difference. The International Court of Justice discussed with states. The International Criminal Court is a different court and investigate individuals. That's the difference. How far we go, we will see. But in the meantime, we can do many things, including stopping Israel to providing weapons to Azerbaijan. That
Right.
is a scandal. We should do that.
Right, but also, let's say International Court of Justice made a decision to prosecute Aliyev, right? But the member countries, have to take actions, right?
No.
That's
You are
assumption.
mixing.
How
you are
that
mixing.
that
You are
process works?
mixing.
Can you explain?
You are mixing. The International Court of Justice, which is a court that already worked, is discussion between states. It's Armenia and Azerbaijan discussion, no individuals. The International Criminal Court is a new court. I was the first chief prosecutor.
Right.
And the court investigates individuals. We investigate, for instance, the president of Bashir of Sudan for Darfur genocide. We investigate Gaddafi. So we investigate individuals, including leaders, head of states. That is a different thing. And that is what is coming now, because Armenia became a state party of the International Criminal Court since February, so next year. From that moment, the International Criminal Court could conduct investigations against individuals from Azerbaijan. That's new.
Yeah, but how could the punishment work?
Well, the
What's
system is
procedure?
the court has to, the prosecutor has to open investigations, has to conduct investigations, the court issue arrest warrants, and therefore the state has to arrest people. It takes time. That's why.
Arrest.
Yes, take time. For instance, President Bashir, when I indict in 2007 one militia leader and President Bashir. The militia leader already is in jail before the court. President Bashir is in jail, not yet to the court. So it takes a long time. That's why it's important, but we should do more things, not just wait for the International Criminal Court.
All right.
Because the right of the people, the Nagorno-Karabakh people need now help. They need money now. They need to recover their land, their properties. They need money to live. So those in jail have to be released. So these people cannot wait for a court. So we need to do, yes, to the International Criminal Court is good. I'm helping them. But we need to do more for the Nagorno-Karabakh people.
You mentioned that Armenia's case and Artsak's case is different because Armenia is protected by Western countries or whatever, everyone, but Artsakh was alone.
Yeah.
So does that mean that world power countries, including United States, are complicit in genocide in Artsakh?
Politically, they were soft. Say they were accomplice is a legal thing. It's a little more complicated. At least what we know,
because they couldn't, they could prevent.
Yes,
but they didn't,
that's different.
They failed to do it.
Fail to prevent is different legally. So I'm a lawyer. So legally, it's different to not to prevent than to be accomplice. Accomplice is bigger. It's worse. It's clear they did not prevent, and what they do.
What about Israel, who sells weapons?
Well, you have to build the case because you need to show. You need to show that Israel knew the genocide policy of Aliyev and voluntarily provide the weapons to implement that. That is the standard. So it's pretty high, but it's fine. You can try. The problem is for today, short term, we need to transform the lack of prevention into something different. So US, France, Germany had to prevent and help to recover the victims of Nagorno-Karabakh. Had to prevent a new genocide in Armenia itself. So these are two different problems, I believe, because there's much more pressure to protect Armenia than the pressure to protect in the past Armenia, Nagorno-Karabakh people. But okay, we have to do work on both.
Yeah.
But in both cases, I think it's very important to understand the genocide thing, because genocide is not a war; it's a legal obligation. It's a treaty that states sign it, and then they have the obligation to protect these people, to help these people. Okay, the people who are watching in the TV.
Yeah. What about the Armenian government?
Well, Armenia they are focused on protect Armenia itself. No?
There is a very major opinion that recognizing Artsakh as part of Azerbaijan gave Aliyev more opportunity to do whatever he has done so far.
If I should be frank with you, I believe the chance to consolidate legally Artsakh as independent or as a part of Armenia was in 2000, not 2020. 2020 was late. After the war, it was much more complicated. After the war, Armenia was in a different situation. The chances, I think that Artsakh lost the chance in 2000, 2005,
but,
2008.
At that time, there were negotiations going on between Armenia and Artsakh. There were like Minsk Group, US, France, and Russia, like co-chairs. And there were opinions like very, very important that recognizing Artsakh's independence or part of Armenia would hurt that negotiations. And that would give ground to Aliyev to start a war. But the things were different after the war, 2020 war, because he already started the war. So
Well, but the problem is he started and he won the war. That's the problem. When you lose the war, you have less power to impose conditions.
all right.
You have much more power before losing the war than after losing the war.
Okay, let's go back
No?
to let's go back to your report, and you are mentioning that on beginning of the February, International Court of Justice could start investigating Aliyev. What is that date, and what needs to be done right now, and by whom?
Well, the International Criminal Court could be involved since February
2024.
because
Because Armenia became a member
now.
no.
So the people can send information to the prosecutor. So if you have testimonies of victims, you can send this TV station could send information to the prosecutor.
Prosecutor.
Yeah.
Which prosecutor?
The International Criminal Court prosecutor.
Okay.
As an office of the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court in The Hague, the prosecutor is the only authority to start a case. So you need a prosecutor starting an investigation, and you need a prosecutor presenting cases before the court. You cannot do that. So no Armenia, no individuals.
So there still has to be open the case. There is
Yes,
no case right now.
It's still, no, that's the point. It's still a legal process. The first, Armenia will be a state party, then you have to convince the prosecutor to open an investigation into crimes committed against Armenians. Then the next step will be the prosecutor asking the judges to issue arrest warrants against individuals. Then people are arrested. Then you have trials, then conviction. That's the process.
All right.
It's a long term. That's why it's important. And if you have information about Nagorno-Karabakh victims or victims in Armenia since 2021, because the court will have jurisdiction on crimes committed in Armenia since 2021. So any crime committed in Armenia after 2021 could be investigated by the International Criminal Court. And the important thing is International Criminal Court is the only court who can indict head of states.
All right.
Even President Putin is indicted.
Yeah, and those witnesses, like we have over 40 videos, as I said. My colleague asked to give it to that speech. So we have witnesses, and we're still doing it.
Yeah.
Those all facts and witnesses and international courts investigation could be one day a ground for on terms of legal
evidence. Yes.
For Armenians to go back to their lands, like ground like some kind of authority or something, because these people lost their lands just because one dictator there decided to kill others, and that's why they lost their country.
I agree with you.
Historical.
I agree with you. So two things: the information you have. There are groups like the Center for Truth and Justice who have people working on preparing information to the prosecutor office. So my suggestion is the videos you have, give to them. They are in Armenia, in Yerevan. So give to the Center for Truth and Justice. They could integrate to the information they already have and present communications to the office of the prosecutor. And that will feed the investigation of the International Criminal Court. It will take time. In the meantime, we need to invent other ideas to release the leaders of Nagorno-Karabakh, of Artsakh, who are today in custody, and to provide to the Nagorno-Karabakh people the rights to return to their lands and respect their rights and compensate them. That is the agenda.
That's the agenda. And do you believe we can witness that in the nearest future?
Well, we got to try. You lose the battle when you're not going to the battle.
Right.
So you go to the battle, have the fight. Okay, go to the fight, prepare yourself. Look, I did my job. I prepared the reports. Now, I'm discussing with some Armenian people how to help in the next phase. We need to keep fighting. Yes, we need to go to the battle. The battle you are not giving is the battle you lose. We don't need. We don't know.
Thank you so much, sir. If you have anything to add in our conversation, please do so.
No, look, for me, I'm very honored that the Armenian, as you invite me, trust me, and ask for my support. For me, I devote my life to try to investigate crimes, first in Argentina against my generals, then as a prosecutor, now as a lawyer. And I believe the world is in disarray. The world is in, we are watching what happened in Ukraine, what will happen in Gaza, in Israel, and Armenia. So we need to fix it. And I believe, I don't think you understand how powerful is your diaspora. Your diaspora is so powerful. They are around the world and they have influence. So we need to help them to work together to help Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh people. That I think, if we fix Nagorno-Karabakh people, we really reestablish order in the world. That's why I'm very proud that you asked me to help you, to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for your time and for your dedication on Armenian cause, and in general for discovering the truth, which is sometimes very painful for people who committed crimes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.